We are out of the gates on Sport and State. It's Hutton Withrow on this Friday morning. Glad you're with us. We are presented by Hard Rock Bet. Big news. We've partnered with Hard Rock Bet for the whole season. They're bringing us the odds, the lines, plus insights, analysis, and content all year long. Hard Rock Bet, Florida's only legal sports book, the most trustworthy option in the market. Also live in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, and Virginia. Chad, football is back.
The best time of the year for bettors. Hutton football is indeed back, and Hard Rock Bet is ready with new features, apps, updates, and promos. And their welcome offer right now is bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. And this one's for all customers, not just new users. And if you're in Florida right now, you can get in on this NFL Survivor contest. Pick one team to win each week. Last Survivor standing split $2 million. Sign up and get all the details at hardrock.bet/clay. That's hardrock.bet/clay.
We had a great evening with Clay. We drove down to Birmingham last night. A quick turnaround. I don't know how much time we actually spent in Birmingham, but it was great to see the boys at the next round live, who are of course with Sport and State. They follow us each morning here on the network. They had their kickoff party at Walk-Ons. It was a great turnout. Great to see them, and more of a toast, if you will, to them joining us here on Sport and State. Great to see them in person.
Yeah, it was great, Hutton. And the mornings are loaded now at Sport and State. When you think about our show leading right into Next Round Live, incredible to see the community those guys have built over the years, right? From local radio and then into what they've done digitally, and now what they're going to do with Sport and State. Really cool to go down. It was a quick trip for us driving down with Clay, but it was a blast, and good seeing LT and Dunaway and Ryan Brown and our guy Brooks Carter also, who's doing some great work for this show, to go down and see all those guys was really cool. And all of their great fans. It's amazing how many of them, were Tennessee transplants that have moved down to Birmingham also. So really cool to see.
Man, you made a great observation about just the city in general, underrated, right? It just the southern cities in totality. I mean, Birmingham would be at the top of the list of the underrated cities for you.
Yes, I would put Birmingham right up there as a very underrated southern city, Hutton. It's amazing. And we went there for the USFL and got to experience the city that way. And going back, we went down for a meeting recently too. Every time I go back, I feel like I like it a little bit more. A lot of times you go to a city over and over, you like it less and less. Not the case with Birmingham. I feel like I like it more and more each time.
Yeah, man, I agree. It's like, if we're comparing it to just SEC towns, I don't know. I combine Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, like our buddies with Farmfolio, Peter Kern, and them. Like I view that as just one big town. That's one of my favorite places. I've never been to Oxford, so I can't rate that one. Hopefully we get a chance to go this year, though, right?
Yeah. I think we're going to go to Oxford. And here's what it's amazing about Birmingham. And every time I go, I see a different part of this. Yeah, there's mountains around. It surprises me. I don't know why, but every time, like you're hitting the mountains, like Mountain Brook and all those areas, like where we were last night, I look up and I'm like, that's a mountain. I feel like I'm next to Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga. Just the topography of the city. When you get out of downtown, all around it are mountains, which is pretty cool, which you don't think about Birmingham right off the bat with some mountains around it. But there's definitely some different terrain when you get into Birmingham. But it was a great time. Great sports bar food last night being served
awesome,
too.
Man.
So good that in fact I ordered a couple of apps to go, and both you and Clay especially was like, let's get out of here, let's go. And I'm like, man, I got this app order in. I think you're going to want to wait on these sweet chili wings that I have coming. And Clay's like, oh no, I already ate. I'm good. Let's go. And I'm like, Clay, I promise you're going to like this. We got in that Sprinter van. And we devoured those wings and the cheese fries on the way back.
Dude,
so it was.
You picked up the van. You picked up the food. I mean, it was top notch, man. Well done.
You can vouch, Hutton. It was well worth the wait for those sweet chili wings when we got in the van.
It was legit.
Really good.
Hey, so
we kind of think of Next Round Live as our spiritual brothers, right? That's
no
for a
doubt,
long time. Even when we were doing local radio, they were the kind of the Birmingham equivalent of what we were doing. Same thing for us. Like there's always been a mutual respect. So it was good to go and actually press the flesh, shake hands with them, see them, and welcome them into Sport and State. because this is new for everyone, what we're going to do with this network. But I think great additions there for those
Yeah,
guys
and
in
while we're just
Birmingham.
talking about them, Chad, I think I won't say mirror images, but very similar shows what we were doing and what they were doing, right? Like the same company. And I would say like for advertising purposes, we had more partners than we did advertisers, right? And that's exactly what they do. They're an in-person type show. They actually are friends. Like yeah, I think it's pretty obvious if you're watching a show and you can tell if it's an arranged marriage or not, right? I feel like they were very similar to us whenever we were going through Nashville and they're in Birmingham.
Yeah, and they got a head start, on
No
us
doubt. Yeah.
on radio from what they were doing, a few years before. But I remember them in the beginning because getting introduced to LT through Clay when he was
Yeah.
starting on a radio, because that was one of the first shows he ever went on as a regular guest, was their show, and he's got a long-standing relationship with them. So it was very cool. And I think from a college football perspective, Hutton, talking to a lot of diehard college football fans last night, there's a lot of quiet optimism around that Alabama fan base, similar to the way I feel about Tennessee. There's a lot of, hey, if the quarterback is right, this offense should hum. I think Alabama fans feel the same way about
I don't
their
know.
team. Very talented, very favorable schedule for Alabama early. They got a good shot at starting 5-0 this season.
Yeah.
I've felt that confidence of Crimson Tide fans last night down in
Well,
Birmingham.
see. I don't feel that same way that vibe that you're getting. I think Bama fans are just high expectation anyway, right? Like they're expecting 9 wins. If they get 9 wins, it's a bad season. And I feel like this offseason we were talking more Tennessee hoops than we were Tennessee football, which is odd.
Yeah.
Like I mean, football season is here, so I understand like the talk is about football, but the last few months have been all about basketball and recruiting. It's really been interesting how it's kind of shifted to the Final Four vibe. Then which we didn't really talk the quarterback much until the last month or so.
I think a big part of that, Hutton, is the quarterback situation, because it's two
Yeah,
guys who are already on campus.
yeah,
You knew about George McIntyre for the last 3 years if you follow Tennessee football, even going back to the high school ranks where he was committed
yeah,
for a long time. You knew about Faison Brandon. Faison Brandon's been committed for 2 years. And it's not like it's a surprise to George McIntyre that he was going to be there, right? He committed a long time
yeah. That's
ago
true.
before his senior year of high school and never wavered from that commitment to Tennessee as a 5-star plus quarterback because there was nothing new about it. You're not talking about, we're going to get into some of these high paid quarterbacks in college football.
Yep,
Most of them are transfers. One time
yep. That's
transfer into their
all of them
career going
basically. Yeah.
somewhere to solve a problem for a school. Tennessee didn't have that. So I do think that kind of hindered all the talk about them in the preseason.
So they're scheduled to open up Bama's. Let's go Bama's. East Carolina. They're hosting East Carolina to begin. Um, you mentioned 5-0. I'm very intrigued by this because of the way they got thumped by Indiana in the playoff. And so they're hosting East Carolina, going to Kentucky, um, which is interesting because you don't really know what Kentucky's going to be about with the new coach, right? New quarterback.
Will Stein, yep.
Florida State, and then South Carolina and Mississippi State. If so, you've always pointed to the Georgia Tech game for Tennessee as the marker of really determining success failure based on the win loss. If Bama's not 5-0, what does that mean for them? Because the backstretch, man, Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Vandy, Auburn.
Is Georgia in Tuscaloosa or in Athens? Is that home or away? Okay, so that's good. Yeah, they're in Knoxville. I know that.
Yeah.
It's a really brutal stretch.
Yeah,
after
the
that.
5 games. You're right about the 5-0. But I mean, I could see them stubbing their toe in one of these games.
Oh, I mean, for sure. I think Kentucky's the big X factor. Florida State, I mean, you got Mike Norvell with his back up against the wall. I don't have a lot of faith that he's going to save his job, but that's a guy who needs that win. I mean, there's some potential landmines there for sure.
Carolina the same way. I feel more optimism about Tennessee than I do Bama, quite frankly.
I don't. And I think it's probably because of the schedule. I don't know why, but I just think if you can get off every year, I look at this, that early schedule is so important.
Yeah.
And I just look at Alabama and I say, okay, Keelan Russell's a 5-star guy too. David in the chat right now, you can join us there, by the way, every day in the YouTube chat. David says Alabama must prove they can run the ball better before I'm a believer. I agree with that. The knock on Kalen DeBoer's teams had been a lack of physicality. They can't run. They can't get 2 yards when they need it. I think Keelan Russell, though, adds that running dimension to the Alabama offense. That's going to help them immensely.
I'll say this too, man. The Bama teams, or even Saban's final 2 or 3 seasons, they started to get these weird penalties. Like, we just didn't really see this from a Saban team. That the unforced errors, the lackadaisical penalties, substitution infractions or personal fouls or whatever. They would end up with 10 to 12 penalties a game, and they're still kind of that way. It's kind of, I don't know. They've kind of regressed to the mean in regards to that, because they used to always be really buttoned up. I feel like Georgia's kind of that way. We'll see about LSU, but point being, Bama's always been, very, very good. I mean, how many times did we talk about the refs and, taking on Bama and Saban, all that? Now it's not the case. I don't see the same discipline that was once there, the culture, so to speak. And it's not a huge factor, but it's a factor than, pulling a first down back, pulling a touchdown off the board, and that, or a field goal off the board. I mean, that affects them on game day.
Yeah, Georgia's really buttoned up until it's time to get behind the wheel of their car. Other than that, they're very buttoned up on the field.
They're good between the hedges.
It does feel like there's less beating themselves for Georgia, the way it was under Nick Saban, with Alabama for so long.
Chad, coming up, LSU takes on everyone. And I'm asking the question, what is their end game here? Because they are literally doing everything based, I guess, on the governor, and it's middle fingers in the air. That's straight ahead here on Sports State and Hutton Withrow. It's Hutton Withrow. We are presented by Hard Rock Bets. Good morning to everyone. Hope the Friday is going very well. Chad and I are powering through after a great time in Birmingham last night, back in Nashville. Um, Chad, so we've got plenty to get to today. We've got RG3 talking Deshaun Watson and whether or not his head coach actually wanted him to start. ESPN's doing away with the ticker at the bottom of the screen, I think during college football games, but we will dive into that later. Um, a lot of discussion with LSU, and I'm trying to figure out like what is their end game here because they paid $53 million to Brian Kelly. They then disrupted and distracted, however you want to phrase this, a historic season for Ole Miss by going in and grabbing their coach and their coach choosing to go to LSU instead of coach for a national title at Ole Miss. They spend nearly double the amount of revenue, that revenue share budget or whatever they want to call it, which is what, 17 million, or they're upwards of like $50 million on this roster now. They vote they vote to not allow professional players back into the SEC, but then abstain from voting on the punishment. You have Will Wade who's adding all these players, whether or not it's eligible or ineligible. And I would also add this, man. The SEC has always been very, very much in lockstep, right? Like program to program. Ross, you've got the presidents, the chancellors, the ADs. Everybody just kind of marches to the same beat. And now you've got the governor running thing. It's just bizarre how they're approaching things, specifically LSU. And then you have everyone else that's kind of just over it, right? Like specifically Sankey, but literally every other program, I'm assuming, is just tired of the BS.
LSU Hutton is living in this weird bubble that they've created.
And I don't
they
know
act like
I don't know what their end game is though. Like where does this kind of settle for them,
they act like the bubble though is all of college sports. Like
Right.
they continue to conflate what's actually happening. Like there are issues that cover all of college sports. They are the only ones that are attempting to do this. They're the ones that are going to the NFL players trying to get them to file motions to get eligible.
Right.
And because of that, it's caused this log jam of a mess that no one else in the sport wants. Even the ones who are somewhat agreeable to it are like, we hate it.
Right.
But if LSU is going to get all of them, then we should be allowed to get some too. Or we're going to go ahead and recruit some of those guys also if they're eligible. But we don't want them eligible. No one else wants them eligible. And then Lane Kiffin goes on Pat McAfee and acts like, I'm just doing what the sport does. It's unfortunate we're in this situation that the NCAA didn't act. I'm like, dude, you are the puppeteer of all of this. You're the one doing it.
He literally told players at Tennessee on his way out, correct me if I'm wrong, don't go to class so you can follow me.
He's a POS. Like, I'm sorry, let's call it. Like, the dude can't do yoga and then all of a sudden do a sit down with Ryan McGee on a documentary and everybody believe that he's this changed guy. Deep down, he is going to do everything in his power. He does not care about people. Everybody on that team is a chess piece to him. He is putting chess pieces in position to win a national title. That's his ultimate goal. If you're a fan of the school he coaches, you love that about him because he's going to win.
And he's also the guy that if Alabama came open and they went after him, he would leave LSU. After all these chess pieces. And
he would leave them unless he gave them everything he wanted. I don't know how you could be more happy about the situation than he is at LSU right now, considering they're willing to make themselves look like idiots, which they are, to protect him.
Yeah, and even the governor, Jeff Landry,
the governor needs no help making himself look like a moron. I mean, that guy.
But I'm saying like he's bitching about the contracts, and then they double down on the contracts. He
bitched about guaranteed money for Brian Kelly and said that he's going to come in and clean things up and make sure that doesn't happen. Right. And what he does is he goes and gives Lane Kiffin more guaranteed money as he's paying Brian Kelly. They tried to fire Brian Kelly with cause. They can't do that. So now they got to pay Brian Kelly the money and pay Lane Kiffin the money. And if they have to fire Lane Kiffin, they're going to have to pay him even more money. You've got the governor quoting saying, "Don't hate the player, hate the game."
Hate the game.
when he's
Yeah.
talking about this. Hutton, I am so confused day to day. You know, the NCAA got a rare win when they got that stay that makes all the fifth-year players ineligible. Jalen Washington, Tennessee being one of them. I can't even talk about that. Like, we had that on a rundown of a subject to talk about. You know why I didn't put it on there? Because it's probably going to change over the course of the show.
Right.
Someone else is going to get an injunction granted, and then he's going to be eligible again. And then over the weekend, he's going to be ineligible again. And then next Wednesday, they're going to say he's eligible again. Here's what I don't understand. And this is a report from ESPN. A Dallas judge signed an order Thursday, going back to Lane Kiffin and bringing NFL players back to college. A Dallas judge signed an order Thursday that prohibits the NCAA and its commissioner, Greg Sankey, from stopping a group of athletes from returning to college sports for one more season of play. Tom Mars is a guy that I respect, and I follow him on Twitter legally.
Yes.
Tom Mars brings up this analogy. There is no question that a homeowners association could prohibit people from parking RVs in their driveways and assess them $1,000 a month for every month they did so. Even if a local judge issued a TRO or preliminary injunction preventing the HOA from preventing people from parking RVs in their driveway or assessing a fine if they did, there is no appellate court in the nation that would uphold that TRO or preliminary injunction. Why is this situation any different with the SEC just because it involves college sports? He hits the nail on the head right there. I don't understand any law of the land that would prohibit the SEC, a league, from making their own rules about this. They're not saying these guys can't play college football somewhere else. They're saying they can't play in their conference, but if they do, there's going to be major penalties for the school that rosters them. If Lane Kiffin wants to take a half-season suspension, then he can roster all these guys he wants if they mean that much to him.
So that report goes on to say, and again, like I feel the same way you do and the way Mars is describing, but the order specifically says that the NCAA, SEC, and Sankey cannot block the player's return based on transfer portal rules or their time on a pro roster. It also states that if any of those groups want to prohibit any of the plaintiffs for a different reason, they would need to come to court and argue their case in front of the judge. So this is, by the way, this is for every sport. Like there are upwards of 40 some odd plaintiffs in this, including women's basketball players. The list goes on and on. More than football is what I'm saying. So like, this is just about football though. Like, I don't, this specific, what we're seeing from Sankey and the SEC, I realize they put like WNBA and all that in there. This is about what we're seeing at LSU specifically.
Well, and that's what, Mars used the HOA analogy on this, right? Like you could get mad, like Jonathan Hutton buys an RV or JT buys an RV, let's say, decides to park it in his driveway. And then his HOA says, hey, JT, you can't do that. JT gets pissy and says, no, I can do that. This is America. And last time I checked, I live in America and I own this lot, so I'm going to do it. JT then goes and gets a TRO. He gets an injunction from one court that says, hey, there's a TRO stopping the HOA from levying penalties or fines for JT to park his RV in the driveway. If they went further to an appellate court, Tom Mars is saying this is not going to stand up. This is emphasis on temporary. This is a temporary restraining order, but no appellate court judge is going to uphold this and stop the SEC from doing it.
But it's like by the time this all wraps up, the season's over, like they've played it. It's just, and I'm trying to figure out, so the judge is Judge Martin Hoffman. I'm trying to figure out his tie. It's more than Dallas. There's got to be something involved here with where he went to school or something. Funny enough, he served
can we talk about the
Dallas
corruption?
Homeowners League.
Can we talk about corruption in the court system too here for a second?
Man,
because I'm thinking all of these guys, it's not a coincidence where they're filing.
Right.
Like they file in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And they get what they want. And also, how did the Knoxville judge rule against Joey Aguilar? I'm still shocked about that. Like we all just assumed he's going to be eligible and come back. And, in the courtroom, he didn't get a hug from everyone like Will Wade did. But with RJ Louise, he got no, you're actually not eligible. Hey, kudos to the Knox County judge who's not going to,
Yeah.
bend his will to the university and their football team. But who's this dude in Dallas, as Tom Mars is calling
He's
out the
very, I
judge
mean,
that
his
granted
bio is
this?
legit, man. Like he's on the board for the lawyer for he's on the law board. I mean, again, like for Texas, I'm saying he wins outstanding trial judge awards. I don't know.
Did Jeff
He's been
Landry
a
hand him
judge
that
there since
award at
2006.
some point? Did Governor Jeff Landry put that medal around his neck when he won that award? I just feel like LSU is orchestrating all of this. And if you're
Something,
looking for a
yeah,
boogeyman of college football today, it's Lane Kiffin. It's the governor of Louisiana. It's everyone involved in this. I am rooting hard against LSU this year for this reason only. I'm fascinated by them. They're going to be a must watch,
he
right?
attended
Like
Texas,
I
by
think
the way,
it's
not
going to be
LSU.
it's
I
going to be
was
a year-round circus too. Like now
absolutely, man.
you got the defensive end who got 2 sacks in an NFL preseason game, saying that if he's not picked up by another NFL team, then he's going to go play for Lane Kiffin this year at LSU. Also, I mean, it's going to be a circus that I'm not going to be able to take my eyes off of. I also hope for the good of the sport that all of this backfires
Yeah.
against them. But Hutton, the other possibility, we talked about this on the drive to Birmingham yesterday. The other possibility is it works and works big time, and they go on and win the SEC this year.
It could keep a drive alive. They may not score a touchdown for the game winner, but they keep a drive alive throughout a game that otherwise a player wouldn't be in position, right? Like there are layers to it, and when you start thinking about what LSU needs and all that it's they're piecing things together very well. Now, I will say, like I said this yesterday, if I was the Big 12, I would let people in. I would go against what the ACC's done, which is just copy the SEC and the Big Ten. I would go ahead and let some players into my conference just based on uh, the fact that I'm trying to raise the bar of play and the scope of solid football from top to bottom. That would be my deal. But
No one cares about your principles, ACC. No one cares about your principles either, Big 12. I mean, I kind of get it. Like if you're them
yeah,
and you're still reeling from that $20 million across all teams deal with Monster Energy and you
yeah,
need something else, like if you want to help, hey, help a brother out. Texas Tech seems to be like the program that's willing to go all in that could win a national title at some point for your conference. So help out Texas Tech. If everything falls through with the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, maybe Texas Tech, who has the money, can go and get all these NFL guys to join their team, and they could be the big bad villain of college football the way LSU's become.
hey, we mentioned ACC. Let me bring this up real quick. ACC innovation here. The very rare ACC mention where I think
Okay.
the Power Two should follow suit. I love what they've done with this with their broadcast. They are going to expand their enhanced replay for this upcoming season. They've decided this. Did you catch this last year?
I
Where
did,
on
yes.
select broadcasts,
I saw way too many ACC games on the CW Hutton
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
I do confess. I find myself drifting to the CW on a lot of fall afternoons.
So they're going to have 27 total games that will include this, but more or less you go under the hood with the official, and then he's talking to the voice of reason. I think it's the ACC headquarters. I don't think it's up top in the stadium, but they walk you through what they're seeing and how they are trying to figure out whether or not a challenge is worthy or if they're going to overturn a call. The Big 12 is going to do this now. They're going to follow suit, which I think is again, I the more access, the better in this regard. And this is where college football is ahead of the game with the NFL. I think the more access when it comes to overturning calls, what they're actually thinking, how they're trying to differentiate, uh, making a call here versus what's a catch over here. That that's what I want, and I hope we get to a point where the SEC and the Big Ten will do this. Transparency. That's what we're looking for. And if they're talking to the conference officials at headquarters, I'd love to hear it. I like the fact that they can pipe in the audio. I don't know why they don't do it for every game, but I like the fact that they're upping their game.
Yeah, look, I like transparency. I like you, Hutton. I think it's great. I like that. I like when anybody tries to innovate, like
Yeah,
especially if you're the ACC or the Big 12. Like I'm never gonna dump on somebody for trying something. And I like that they're trying this and showing it. I will say, however, though, we're in the van driving back from Birmingham last night is a great example.
Yeah.
We're watching the end of Dodgers-Braves. Braves end up getting the sweep over the Dodgers in Atlanta. 1-0 game. Chris Sale has gone into the ninth trying to complete the game. There is a bang-bang double play that looks like it ends the game. Matt Olson is fully outstretched at 6'5", looks like his big toe stays on the bag as he catches it in time, and he immediately calls for the review. Right? As they say safe, he's like, review it, run it back. That's ball game, game over. Hutton, they've reviewed it for like 5 minutes. It was a long review for Major League Baseball purposes. And I will say that, like, as a viewer of that and all of us there, we are enthralled with a long review. When we don't know what's being said and don't know what's happening, it's just the fans in the stadium reacting to the replay over and over from all the different angles. Like, there's something to be said for mystery at times in sports. Like, I like what the ACC is doing. I love transparency. Don't get me wrong on that.
Yeah.
That last night, the first time I've been thinking, I'm like, I actually like the intrigue that we don't know what they're going to say when they come out of this review. And sure enough, they came out. We thought he was out. And they say, after review, the ruling stands. He's safe. At first, the game went on. Chris Sale strikes out the next batter. Ball game over. Braves sweep. Chop on my Atlanta Braves. Huge 3-game sweep of the Dodgers.
Man.
But Hutton, that was fun to watch during that time. I'm just speculating what happened.
I like the camera shots of the coaches and players not knowing, but I get to listen in. You know, like the suspense of what they're going through. Also,
that's fair.
Shout out Chris Sale, who hit 100 miles per hour at 37 years old.
And in the ninth inning. I mean, he was getting up around 100 miles. Like, he was 98, 99 in the ninth inning. That was only the ninth. This is what's crazy about Major League Baseball now. That was the ninth complete game for a pitcher this season. That's it. Of all the games in Major League Baseball, Chris Sale completed the game in a 1-0 shutout. You don't see it that much anymore. The days of Nolan Ryan are gone, of everybody not wanting to come out of the game, right? I mean, they're on a pitch count now, all these dudes. But that was pretty cool to see last night. Chris Sale, at I think 37 years old, battling through that, like you said, incredible.
I'm looking up how many shutouts. There were 193 shutouts recorded in the 1999 baseball season.
Wow.
193.
That was our era too, Hutton. That was our time. What a time to be alive.
And how many this year? 9?
Yeah, and what's crazy is that was like the tail end.
Wow.
No, that was in the middle of the Royd era. Also, with all those shutouts. I mean, that was right after the home run chase.
This is Wikipedia. A total of 193 shutouts were recorded across the regular season during the 1999 MLB season. That's nuts.
McGuire and Sosa was 98. That was their home run season the year before that they had the chase. So, wow.
That's crazy.
It was cool to see last night, and it felt like October baseball in that series with those two teams. They're both really good. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be fine. Even after this 3-game sweep, I got no concerns about them moving forward with that roster, that lineup, those pitchers. I mean, every night they're throwing out. I'm like, okay. Tyler Glasnow's pitching tonight. He's making a lot of money. Yamamoto, this guy's making a lot of, just on down the list of dudes they have that they can throw at you is incredible. But for now, go Braves. Huge series sweep.
Chop on. Hey,
chop on, baby.
Coming up, RG3 with interesting insight on what's going on with the Browns, and he immediately jumps out on social media when they named Deshaun Watson the starter and said, I can tell you right now, the head coach did not want to make this decision. He wanted to go the other direction. I want to discuss this because this is not going to end well. It already is going to be a total disaster. But the idea that we're paying this guy, so let's play him in his final year. I don't know why that makes any sense. Although, playing Shador might not either. We discuss that next year on Hutton Withrow. It is Hutton Withrow here at Sport and State. We are presented by Hard Rock Bet. Coming up, more football discussion, and we discuss coaches on the hot seat. The name says it all. Perfect 10 mortgage. Apply in 10 minutes, close in 10 days. That's the whole idea here. A mortgage that's simple, fast, and fair. 10 minutes, start to finish, right from your phone. No stack of paperwork. There's no sitting across a desk from a banker, Chad, who's talking down to you. No one wants that.
Nobody wants that. You want to check your options and not know that it's going to, or know that it's not going to ding your credit score. Also, you're going to find out exactly where you stand before you commit to anything. Date the rate, marry the house, put it on a t-shirt, get the house you want now, refinance when rates come down. How many credit cards are you juggling right now? Every month they're sending in the minimum payment, and that balance rarely moves because the interest is eating you alive. Doesn't have to stay that way with Perfect 10 Mortgage. You may be able to use the equity you've already built in your home to pay off those high interest credit cards and personal loans. And if you're buying new construction, ask about the builder program, builder funded rate buy downs that can get you a rate that the bank can't even print. Date the rate, marry the house, get the house you want now, refinance when rates come down, straight talk on what you actually qualify for. Built for real people, not paperwork. Perfect10mortgage.com. Call them at 855 789 1010. That's perfect10mortgage.com. Perfect 10 Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Perfect 10 Mortgage is the DBA or network funding LP. NMLS number 2297, equal housing lender. All borrowers must qualify. This advertisement is not a promise to make a loan. Hutton, I've got a promise for you.
Okay.
I'm going to feel a heck of a lot better when I sneeze. I know
Hey,
you
it's the
battle
worst feeling.
allergies also, and I've
Yeah.
got the
Mine are
morning
bad today.
sneeze that needs to come out right now. I don't know if it was the Birmingham air or what it is, but if I sneeze once or twice, I'm going to feel so much better. So I'm promising you right now that if you see me looking up at a light, because that's a trick that I've learned when you're about to
Oh,
sneeze,
really?
I'm not having some sort of episode. I'm actually just trying to get a sneeze out at some point, and I'm going to feel glorious the moment that happens. So I give you full rights to do the play-by-play of me sneezing if I mute this mic to sneeze at some point. But it's badly needed this morning. I know
Uh,
people with allergies out there feeling my pain. Chime in on the YouTube chat if you've got allergies too, and you know what it's like to get that morning sneeze out of the way and feel so much better.
so I looked up how to avoid or how stop an impending sneeze. It says pinch your nose, press your tongue to the roof of your mouth, or avoid bright lights. It says. I'd always heard look at a light as well. Again, do we
Well,
believe AI all the time? Maybe, maybe not.
avoid bright lights to stop the sneeze. I'm trying to sneeze.
Oh, you want to get it
So
really?
I look at a bright light. Yes, it's good to look up at a light to help a sneeze come along. And I've got bright lights in
Oh,
front of me too. But if I look into the bright light, it might help me sneeze. I want to sneeze
do it
badly
right
right now.
now.
I'd love for it to be during one of our breaks, but that's not really happening for me. It feels like every time we start talking, I'm about to sneeze. But Hunt, if it happens, I am going to feel glorious.
Do it. Try to do it right now. Look at that light as I tell you what RG3 immediately said about Todd Monken. Who's
Oh,
go ahead.
Mark in the chat, our guy Mark Herman says looking at a light can trigger the photic sneeze reflex. Works better with the sun though. I'm going to do a remote broadcast, guys. It's sunny outside right now here at my house. I'm going to take this in the second half of the show. Just go outside and look at the sun the entire time and try to sneeze. It's going to be great. Jacob's going to love that. And once I bring the show outside.
You watch your camera freeze right as you do that too.
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. It's like this is like therapy for
Like
allergies.
talking through it.
Yeah, I'm talking through it. Now all of a sudden I don't feel the need to sneeze as much as I have the entire show. All I need to do, Hutton, was sit down and talk to you about it. So thank you for listening. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
So RG3, when Deshaun Watson was named the QB1 in Cleveland, which is ridiculous because he's already alienated himself with the fans and he's going to get booed. He's playing 17 road games basically. This is RG3. He says sources tell me Deshaun Watson was not. He put this in all caps. Was not Todd Monken's choice as the starter, and many in the building thought Shador Sanders was the right move for the team on and off the field after Watson attacked the fans. Browns want Deshaun to play for his pay. The fans deserve better. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Haslam, the owner, saying that they admitting that they made a mistake and they need to learn from it whenever they signed the contract with Watson. That was like a year ago, and now they want him to pay. They want him to play for his pay. Uh, what are they doing? I think that as far as talent around the quarterback goes, Cleveland's pretty far down the list. They may be 32 in the league when it comes down to like just best players around a quarterback. Supporting cast, I guess you could call it. They're awful. They just got rid of Miles Garrett as well, and it's not like Watson is good. I mean, he has sucked since we last saw him in Houston in 2019, and Shador wasn't great, but he wasn't awful based on just reading off a stat sheet. It doesn't look like Shador has sucked. Um, I don't understand how you make this decision. And if RG3 is correct, and I guess he played for Monken at some point, uh, why would you hire a coach and then come in after a quarterback battle after your quarterback stood up in front of the media and said what he said about the fans, and then immediately name him the starter? It, it, it's um, it's
It feels like self-sabotage.
it's stupid.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't buy the RG3 argument. I mean, he would have more connections and know
Yeah, I mean, he
better than us,
immediately said this. I
but
mean,
also it's hard to, unless there's been a complete change of heart or Jimmy Haslam's just lying through his teeth. Because here's the quote you referenced, Sutton. This was at the 2025 annual NFL meetings in March of 2025. Haslam told reporters, quote, "We took a big swing and miss with
there you
Deshaun.
go.
We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't. And we gave up a lot of draft picks to get him. So we've now got to dig ourselves out of that hole." That does not sound like an owner or a guy that is trying to dig themselves out of the hole by making a guy play for his money in the last year of the
Right,
contract that you've paid him. I don't buy that argument. Haslam also said it was a collective organizational choice, but the decision ultimately rests with him and his wife and co-owner Dee Haslam, telling fans to hold them accountable more than anyone else. And no problem. Browns fans have definitely held Jimmy Haslam accountable for that
right.
decision and a lot of other decisions with the Browns organization.
That just
It feels like self-sabotage because none of it makes sense based on the timing of the comments about Cleveland fans, about it being personal with them booing him.
yeah,
I don't know what you're accomplishing by starting him. All it does really is probably help Deshaun Watson maybe get a shot somewhere else because he's not staying in Cleveland. You're not re-signing him. This is the last year of that guaranteed contract. If he goes out and plays well, someone's probably going to take a chance on him to be a starter in a situation where they desperately need a starter for a year or two. But it's
yep,
not going to be in Cleveland. It doesn't help you at all. Like, I try to understand motivations, and I feel like if I understand your motivation, I know a lot about you. I don't even understand the motivation right now for the Browns organization
yeah,
because you need to find out what you have with Shador Sanders, as you said. I mean, if that's something that's even a possibility, you're going to have to find out about it, right? Like here in Nashville with Cam Ward, there's no doubt Cam Ward's the starter. He's looked
right,
bad in the preseason so far.
yes,
Doesn't matter. Like he's going to be given that chance with a new offensive coordinator and as the number one pick. You know he's the guy. You understand the motivation, even if he's sucking when he gets
right,
out in the regular season,
right.
right? You're going to keep giving him shots to see if he can figure it out. I understand that with the Titans. I don't understand this with the Browns at all.
So, well said. And so they wrapped up the preseason last night. Cleveland did. He did not play. Watson didn't play in the final preseason game. And he's like pregame, he's walking around and he's I don't know what they call their stadium now, but he's like signing autographs for like kids. Like it just. And I was reading a quote where Herb Street's talking about the second chances and all this stuff. It's like going over the top to make it seem like they're smoothing things over a bit. I don't know if again I didn't hear it. I'm reading quotes. Half of a quote, I guess you could call it half of a sentence that's quoted in a story. Um, yeah, I mean he hasn't been good, and I mean the Titans played up there recently and played against him, and he was awful. I'm not talking about Shador, not their most recent game, but Watson. Maybe that was the same game. I can't remember. But it's I don't understand how you draft all these quarterbacks and then you end up back with the guy who doesn't represent what you're about. I thought owners just cut their losses every now. Amy Adams Strunk would have fired multiple people by now and paid them to leave. You know, I don't get why he's around.
I don't either. David in the YouTube chat says he's doing what Jimmy Haslam tells him to do, talking about Monken.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't know why.
I mean,
Again, Jimmy
you're right.
Haslam's already said it. He's already faced the music on it, said it was a mistake. Why would he come back on that
Yeah, that's a good
a
point.
year later after he said it was a mistake and say, you must play this guy? I just don't.
It's
I mean,
interesting
he
how
allowed his
RG3,
organization also to draft multiple quarterbacks.
I wonder, I guess RG3 may have crossed paths with Monken in Baltimore, maybe. But it's just how he says sources tell me Deshaun Watson was not Todd Monken's choice as the starter. And many in the building thought Shador was the right move for the team on and off the field. I can see where that's accurate. I mean, like, a lot of people think go Shador's way in this regard. Watson attacked the fans. Browns want Deshaun to play for his pay. I mean, why? He's gonna tear an Achilles or something, rupture an Achilles, and he'll be injured for his pay.
You're punishing your entire city and fan base by
And
punishing him to go play for
I
his pay,
I
right? I
can't
just
wait.
none of that. I'm not buying it.
I'm also, I mean, what this is also going to do is set this. I mean, their home opener. I don't know if they're playing at home or away in week one, but he will be booed, you know, throughout that entire game. You know, that's just based on what he said. There's no apology after
I
that.
mean, he's going to have to be really good for them to start
Right, and you're right
cheering for
about
him
that
again.
though. That is we should mention that. Like again, I referenced Pac-Man. Pac-Man was getting cheered on the field when all the legal stuff's going on off the field. He's spitting in women's faces and doing all this stuff and getting arrested. Uh, but he returns a punt for a touchdown, and everyone's going crazy at Nissan Stadium. You're right, that will happen if he plays very well. But I seriously doubt that does happen.
Hutton, he may be returning home 0-2 because they open the season, the Browns do, in Jacksonville and in Tampa Bay in the state of Florida. They come back home to play Carolina on September 27th. That will
Okay.
be the first home game of the Browns season. If they're 0-2 and he takes the field
Oh,
that day, great opportunity for those Cleveland fans to boo the hell out of that guy
yeah,
once he
man.
takes the field. Who
That'd be
knows? He
fun.
may look so bad in those first two that Shador is the starter by game number 3
Maybe.
also. I
Or
just
or
again,
he gets hurt.
I can't buy the RG3 explanation on this that Jimmy Haslam now. Jimmy Haslam also, by the way, if he's this grand master puppeteer of the Browns organization, he's the one who allowed them to draft 2 quarterbacks a year ago in
Right.
the same draft at Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. And then after doing that says, you must play Deshaun Watson, the guy I've already publicly admitted to being a mistake for this
Well,
organization. I demand you play this guy over the 2 guys I allowed you to draft a year ago. Something's not quite adding up.
Chad, I'm going to get into the my top coaches in the NFL next week. But this season with Cleveland, we are going to see how valuable and how good Kevin Stefanski was for them. Two-time coach of the year. And now he's in Atlanta. Uh,
Did you see Todd Monken respond when Lane Kiffin said he didn't call him, doesn't even have his number, and he was asked about it and his
no, what
clarification
do you
on it?
say?
He is not winning over a lot of confidence with me with this decision and everything else. He just, oh yeah, I guess I should speak more clearly. And
Oh my gosh.
I said we got a call, and I guess it was one of my staffers or someone,
Oh,
and maybe it wasn't from Lane, maybe it was from somebody else, and I should probably be more clear when I speak and tell stories like that. Basically, what he's saying is like,
I
hey
made it
man, it's
up.
just you and me talking, right? Like I'm just telling a
He's
story
saying
and
he
a
made it
lie.
up.
Yeah, he's basically like I made it all up, and don't kill me over it. But somebody got a call, but he wouldn't say who. He wouldn't say who made the call to him. Because look, it's tampering too. Like you're accusing whoever made the call of tampering with an NFL contract. That could be some
Well,
legal issues with that also. But so who
yeah.
did it? Was it Ed Orgeron that called on his staff? Was it somebody else? We know Ed Orgeron will get involved with players. He did when they left
See,
Knoxville. I think he was the one making the call saying don't go to class to all the
see,
Tennessee players. I
I
mean,
don't think it would be Kiffin that would even pick up the phone. I think it would be their GM, right? At LSU.
it's somebody. He's actually somebody on staff called somebody on my
Yeah.
staff, and I'm thinking, dude. First off, don't say Lane Kiffin called and I should have called him back. And second, if that's not true,
Speak more
also you
clearly. I
know
mean,
who it
we
was,
understood him. He said Kiffin called him.
right? I need to
Stupid.
speak. Well, basically, I lied. I told a story that was a
Yeah.
fun story That's not true. And now I've been called to the carpet on it. And I don't really have a good explanation. But what you should come back and say, okay, here's what happened. A guy, here's who got the call. Here's who called. I just would have laid it out there, especially if it was my player at the time, because I would have been pissed. I'm like, their GM, such and such, called my offensive analyst who they have a relationship with and said, are you going to cut this guy because we want him, because we're trying to go get him? Say it plainly, clearly.
What's interesting too,
communication 101 here for Todd.
These are guys, like, it's interesting, like, these guys don't get picked up on the waiver wire, you know, like they're just out of the league. They're good players. They will make a difference for LSU. But if this were a starter or a fringe starter, a good special teams player, the NFL would be pissed off for greatness over this. You would see some lawsuits and other things about tampering. But you're under contract at the time, and I mean, you've got players in college that are making $6 million a season or upwards of that. That's what they're saying, and these guys are probably getting a $30,000 signing bonus to go to camp. I would want to go back to college too if I'm these dudes.
Absolutely. Also, I'd love for someone to pick them up off waivers to prevent.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
To make them make a choice. No, you're going to have to deny that you've been picked up, and you're going to have to leave the NFL to go to college. As you're not just going to get this as easy as you want. I think that'd be hilarious.
Hey, real quick, I heard that, I didn't hear this. I read this earlier. It would be interesting if Todd Monken tried to trade for Stetson Bennett and coach him again in Cleveland. That would be something. If Stetson Bennett comes to Cleveland and makes it work like he did at Georgia. If that were to happen,
Ty Simpson looks good with the Rams, so that would make sense.
Yeah,
he looks really good.
If that were to happen during a college football game, we're not going to read it on the screen. We discussed that coming up here on Hutton Withrow. Hutton and Withrow. We are presented by Hard Rock Bet. We've got some football discussion coming up. We're going to discuss the scroller. What's it called, Chad?
The ticker.
The ticker. Thank you.
We call it the ticker. Yeah. We got one here on our show too. It's what scrolls in the bottom of our show every day. It's a ticker. Yeah.
The scroller. Yes, the ticker.
We go to resident tech expert Jacob Lutz to explain exactly what we call this thing. I believe it's a ticker, but I'm sure there's different words from different people of how to describe it.
That's like, why is that called a ticker?
It doesn't make a ticking noise, but it does tick one score after the other. It's a good question.
I don't know. It's interesting. Accidents do not wait for great timing. One bad moment, a wreck, a fall, a doctor who wasn't paying attention. Suddenly you're fighting an insurance company that does this every single day. And that's why Clay started Clay Travis Law. He's a Vanderbilt law grad, and he built a firm around one idea. People deserve someone willing to pay attention, ask the hard questions, and push back when things don't add up. Experienced trial attorneys who bring the fight to corporations and insurers. Based in Nashville, trusted across the country.
Car and truck wrecks, rideshare accidents, medical malpractice, premises liability, product liability. If you were wrong, they want to hear about it. And here's what they promise: honesty. They're not going to sugarcoat your case. You'll hear what it's actually worth, not what you want to hear. Case evaluation is free. No charge, no pressure, no hassle. Just tell them your story. Go to claytravislaw.com or call them at 877-222-4444. That's 877-222-4444. That's claytravislaw.com. No case is too big or too small.
Lutz tells us it's actually called the bottom line. So it's not called a ticker. I've always
that's what ESPN calls it, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm never going to call what we have on our show the bottom line. I would refer to it as ticker. So I think he's right. That's like the ESPN nomenclature of how they describe it. But also, like, I'm not going to fall. It's almost like saying, you said, I don't know what the Cleveland Browns Stadium's called anymore. I don't either. It's like having to go with the corporate sponsor of everything because that's what they call it. I'm still going to call it whatever I want to call it also. So on this show, we call it the ticker. But Lutz is right. ESPN calls it the bottom line.
Why are they doing away with this during college football games? What's the premise of this decision?
I haven't even read their explanation as to why they would do it. Here would be my possible rationale for it. One, it's a pain in the ass to operate. Whoever does it back in Bristol or whoever's working on it, and they don't want to deal with it anymore, whether it be for lack of a workforce because of all their layoffs or whatever, that could be one possible issue with it. Maybe. The other is they want you locked in on their game that you're watching at that time. And they don't want you seeing a score at the bottom that may revert you to another game, like, let's say, a game on Fox. Not just the ESPN family, but like, hey, Michigan just scored here. That game is now tied. I saw that on the ticker. I'm going to go away from this ESPN property, this SEC game on ABC, and go to that. That would be a second possibility as to why you would do away with it. The third, and I think the one that I have seen some of people at ESPN talk about, is they want a cleaner look and feel for the broadcast when they do that. I sent you guys a funny tweet from someone, though, that said, here's ESPN's new bottom line after they make it look cleaner for college football. And it's a gigantic picture of Pat McAfee and a promo for him calling something with WWE that takes up the bottom half of the screen, which is really funny, which is probably what will happen. It's also, Hutton, I think another reason for this is it's another way they're going to throw ads on the bottom of the screen. I think the ticker goes away with scores, and I think they're going to hammer you with advertising at the bottom of the screen. I don't think the lower third is going away from a ticker. I think they're going to put ads up there. So, I do not think this is a good thing. I don't. The more I think about it, first I was like, okay, that's interesting. I kind of understand where they're going with this, but the more I think about it, I don't like it. I also think that it makes you go to your phone more when you're watching a game.
I guess they're assuming we're already there. I don't know.
Maybe. And look, it's not like ESPN doesn't benefit also if you're streaming something through them on your phone.
But I want to be alerted if the SEC game is going to kick off a little bit later, if they're holding kickoff because of another broadcast. That's where we would be alerted to what channel it's going to, right?
Yeah, this game is now on ESPN News.
Yeah, I guess they'll
that type of alert on it. You can be seen now on SEC Network Plus.
I guess
or whatever, for the game that has started because your game's going late.
I just
Now,
assumed AI did all
they
this.
could flash that up there during the game that's going over time-wise, which always happens, and say, hey, the yellow flash alert. If you want to watch Tennessee and Arkansas, you can go to
flip over.
ESPN2 right now and watch it. Yeah.
I just think it's I don't know, like half the games I want to watch are on ESPN or ABC anyway. Like I don't feel like I mean, everybody's trying to watch all these different games at one time. I would rather be able to look at a score and know to go and watch the game than not. But whatever. And they could, if they don't want to show the Fox score, they could control that, right? They could just omit the big noon kickoff score if they wanted to. They have all. I mean,
I think even in the pettiness of network wars over sports and live sporting events, that would maybe be the pettiest thing I've ever seen.
Or
if Fox
don't
has
rotate
two ranked
it in as
opponents
much.
playing.
I don't. Yeah, if they were worried about that,
they
though,
just
they're
go to
worried about
top
viewership.
25 to start. It's always top 25, and they've got two ranked teams on Fox, or
Yeah.
they've got two ranked teams on another network on CBS on their Big Ten game, and they're not going to show it on ESPN because on that. I mean, that would be a heightened level of petty that I don't know that we've seen. So I think they'd look really bad for doing that.
Yeah, I don't think it's that though. I'm not saying I don't think they've done away with it because of viewership. I mean, they're going to have one of the best games anyway.
Okay, let me give you a positive for this. Okay, I've thought about this way too much.
You're right about the ads. You're right about the ads.
I spend so much time watching college football that I've thought way too much about this. One positive is, and I don't know, people can chime in. I want to hear from people in the YouTube chat also what they think about it, and give me a positive and a negative from this as to why you would do it and why you like it or why you don't. I think one positive is oftentimes if I'm watching, let's say a Tennessee game where I'm watching every snap, or it could be a Vandy game I'm watching every snap. With YouTube TV, I will go away from that game and go somewhere else. I can go back to where I was watching and resume watching. So I may watch the end of a drive for a game that's not the game I'm watching primarily as my first game. And on that ticker, I might get updated on something that happened I don't want to see because I'm waiting to go back to that game. Do you see what I'm saying? There could be a score update and it's, Tennessee scored again, or the opponent scored.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Or now they have the ball, and I see that because I can't look away when it flashes on the ticker, and I didn't want to see it because I was actually going to go back and hit resume watching from last watch and fast forward through a commercial and start catching up through plays, right? To me, that was the biggest positive of this.
That would always happen watching SportsCenter growing up. You'd watch SportsCenter, and then the ticker would show the score of the highlight you're watching with Dan Patrick and Eisen and all them. I mean, this is just during the games, though, right? I mean, again, like ESPN should put the scores on the screen. But you're right. They're going to put ads up there or gambling.
But again, like if you don't want to be spoiled, like you don't want a score spoiler, that's the only benefit I could see to it. But most people aren't doing most people aren't psychotic like me, and they're not doing that. They're either staying on that game the whole time, even through a commercial, because it's their team, and they're not going to turn away and watch something else. I turn away and watch other things all the time.
Well,
during a commercial, and then try to go back and catch up live.
We'll have the quad box.
Yes, absolutely, and that's not going to spoil anything because you're going to see all of it in the quad box also with YouTube TV. But I think that's just a very specific example of how no score ticker could be a positive. I think they want to force ads on it. I think they want to force more ESPN promos as part of it. It's going to be the thing. And they're going to act like, well, what we're doing is we're further engaging you to stay on this game that we have instead of motivating you to go to another game because you saw some big score update you weren't expecting. And I don't buy it.
Chad, what college football is doing, they are buying quarterbacks. We've discussed the pay for play across college football, and specifically we'll tell you the top tier numbers and return on investment here. What our projection would be based on what these guys are getting paid. It's insane. That's next year on Hutton Withrow. how does JT drink his coffee? We're going to tell you in just a moment. But first,
Oh.
Crockett Coffee. Crockett Coffee, started by Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Buck's brother Mason, named after David Crockett. Davy was a hunter, storyteller, patriot, backwoods legend. Look at the logo here. Surfing on the backs of crocodiles. That tells you everything you need to know about the attitude with this coffee. 100% pure Arabica, high altitude beans, small batch roasted right here in America, in Tennessee, and right in the heart of the country. It ships fresh roasted. It's not sitting on a warehouse shelf for 6 months. Light, medium, dark, decaf, organic, even a mushroom blend is available. Whole bean, ground, or K-cups. However you make it in the morning, it's available to you, Chad.
You can set up a subscription and it shows up on your schedule, not theirs, your schedule. Change it or cancel it anytime you want as the free market intended. Free shipping on orders of $59 or more, and there's a discount for veterans. And Crockett partners with Tunnels to Towers, building mortgage-free homes for the families of fallen service members and for catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. Good coffee, made in America, doing some good. CrockettCoffee.com. That's Crockett, Crockett, coffee.com. CrockettCoffee.com. JT's a psychopath.
King
That's what we learned during the
frontier. Break. Yeah. We during the break we find out that JT drinks his coffee out of a very specific cup.
JT, can you show us the cup you drink your coffee out of?
Yeah, so it's a plastic cup, and every morning, it's this and
chocolate milk.
It's Crockett coffee, and it's 2 pieces of ice to cool it down because I don't want my coffee just scalding.
Is that like a form of plastic that can so you're pouring it in hot and then putting ice in it?
I mean, there's some stuff in it that probably will kill me early, but yeah, but it's how I like it.
All right. Well, this is the strangest thing. We got it out of the way now, so I'm not going to make it my primary complaint. But I've never heard of anyone that needs to drink coffee from just a plastic cup like you would drink Kool-Aid out of when you're 9 years old.
Well, I don't go to Cracker Barrel and say, "Can you please bring me a cup to put, a plastic cup to pour my coffee into?" But if I'm at the house, I prefer it, and the only way you'll ever see me drink it is so it's not chocolate milk. It's coffee in a plastic cup.
But no, are you just against mugs? You don't like the way you have to hold it or something?
Maybe it's I don't know where we're gonna go here, but I don't like the feel of that up against my mouth. So it's just weird.
That's what she said. Do you get all limp-wristed with a coffee mug? Like
I got to get back to work, guys.
And that's why. Me looking. I don't know what was happening yesterday when I was trying to show the mug. I promise I work out regularly. I don't know why. I felt like I was lifting a boulder, pushing a boulder up a hill to lift up a coffee mug yesterday. My hand and wrist went totally limp as I did it. That's probably what JT wants to avoid on this show. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to hold a cup of Kool-Aid, of Ovaltine is what it looked like in his cup. I'm going to hold this like a man instead of holding up a coffee mug. I've never heard of anybody who doesn't drink coffee or prefers not to drink coffee out of a mug or out of like a heavy-duty portable to-go cup like you would get at a nice coffee place, other than JT.
Chad, look at the money being spent on quarterbacks. Everyone knows that's huge money in college football right now. But as far as return on investment, I'm curious what you would say. I've got my answer too. We're going to see this right now. The money and return on investment on who you think is not going to actually come through with earning their money. I've got mine right off the bat.
You've got yours on who's not going to come through for the money.
Yeah, on who's not going to meet the expectation based on pay. For me,
I think so. It also goes down. We talked about this with DGG, David Gabriel Georges. Like, what is the smart investment?
Right.
Okay. So there's one that jumps out to me on this list. I know as we're looking right now. There's 13 quarterbacks, and Mark J. Burns at Sport and State did a good job writing this column on this. The one that jumps out to me is Josh Hoover. Okay, Josh Hoover in 2024 at TCU set a single season passing record. 2025 was not as good for him.
No.
But also, it's the way I feel about Josh Heupel in run games. Like, Indiana's going to be good at quarterback.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend $4.5 million. I mean, they did, and that's great. And they're bringing in a guy who started a lot of games to their program. But you see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
And Kurt Cignetti's offense and what he's built with his offensive line and what he's built with the skill positions, I don't know that you need to invest $4.5 million for 1 year into Josh Hoover. Now they were going to pay that with someone else too, but I don't know if that's necessary. I feel the same way about DGG. I think it's a smart investment, but I would also say Josh Heupel gets 3-star running backs to, win SEC Offensive Player of the Year or rush for 1,000 yards. Deshaun Bishop's a former walk-on. He didn't have a scholarship when he got to Tennessee, and he's now a clear leader of the team and had a great season last year and should have a good season this year too. So do you want to spend over $2 million for a running back? I feel the same way about some of these guys with their head coaches.
For me, it's Darian Mensah. $6 million plus. I mean, he's making more than Trinidad Chambliss. Really?
He's making more than Dante Moore, who's the front runner to win the Heisman.
Apparently. By the way, best bang for the buck was Oklahoma State.
Yes. And I love seeing Oklahoma State appear on this list for this reason. I haven't thought about Oklahoma State in about 5 years.
I agree, man.
Since Gundy started going south. And that was a program that was routinely in the top 25 for years under Gundy, right? Like they were one of those, like I would look at Oklahoma State like I did Wisconsin. Like never great, but always good, always steady. And kind of knew what you were going to get with them, right? Jim Knowles did a great job when he was defensive coordinator under Gundy at Oklahoma State. I like seeing that investment because we know T-Bone Pickens is no longer alive. He's no longer alive.
No, he's not. He passed away.
Okay, thank you. I've been known to kill people on air before.
Dead or alive.
Before they're dead. I spot met him like, he's dead. But they've got money at Oklahoma State is my point. And I like that they're spending it there on the quarterback, and they're helping out Eric Morris in year one. So that was a welcome addition to this list of high spenders for me for Oklahoma State, because I want to see more teams become relevant and spend money and get good again.
They brought his entire staff with him, right? Like the quarterback. Okay. That's huge. I mean, we've seen that work plenty across the country. If you bring the staff with the quarterback, normally it jumpstarts everything. And the quarterback's comfortable, in control. I realize everybody else has got to learn the offense, but distribution is the name of the game here. Call the play at the line of scrimmage. Be able to stay out of the wrong play is maybe just as important as making a big play.
Well, here's the other thing too, Hutton. You mentioned Mensah, which I think is kind of crazy too. The number over $6 million seems like. Were you really going to get that somewhere else, or did you just milk Miami for all you could get?
What did he make previously? Was it 4?
He made, I think 3.5 or 4 at Duke.
Yeah,
is what and they paid a lot. I remember that was a big deal. It's like Duke's paying this much money, or Duke's paying $4 million for a quarterback and not a point guard. With basketball, that was shocking to everyone for Manny Diaz and Duke, who got to the ACC championship game, a year ago, and so they had a good season with Mensah. I look at some of these dollar figures. Here's the other alarming thing to me about this: names that you do not see on this list.
Yes, here we go.
Bryce Underwood, Jared Curtis, Faison Brandon, young guys who probably signed a multi-year NIL deal with their current schools when they did it, which is a good bet, right? They're probably making $2.5, $3 million, or something like that for multiple years. But I see these numbers, Hutton, and I'm thinking, boy, those schools are going to have to up the ante at some point along the way. Maybe after year one, maybe after year two. But I see where these numbers are headed right now, and I'm thinking, Vandy's not. That's going to be a discount if Jared Curtis is what they think he is, right?
Yeah,
Tennessee's getting Faison Brandon at a discount if he's really good in year one.
Well,
based on what they paid him out of high school, you're going to have to renegotiate and pay those guys more at some point, likely.
Look at the numbers, Chad. This is what Nico was asking for. Yeah. He was asking for 4, right? Is that what he went up to, or was he going higher than that?
I think he went 5. I think he went higher than that. Yes. And again, it's when are they going to do that? Like, it wasn't the time.
No.
I mean, they just got smacked by Ohio State in the playoff game, too, where that defense did what they wanted to them. It was bad timing, and it was also kind of a hostage situation. Like, I'm going to go through spring and then get close to the orange and white game and then decide I'm going to leave if I don't get this money. So Tennessee just felt like we're not going to be held hostage by you or anyone, and we got to take a stand against this, and we're going to go a different direction and spend that money elsewhere. And they spent the money wisely on Joey Aguilar, who happened to fall in their lap because UCLA spent big money on Nico. And look, Nico didn't pay off and I think he was making less than he was at Tennessee for UCLA.
Oh, he
But
was.
that did not it did not pay off for them in year one, right? So
No.
what's that going to look like in year two for Nico? I don't know. I just see these ballooning numbers of $5 million for Trinidad Chambliss, $5 million for Dante Moore. I'm not saying those guys are not worth it because they're getting paid it, so they're worth it to come back. But also, boy, that's the cost of doing business if you hit on a guy that's really good. Dante Moore was a big time prospect. Trinidad Chambliss was not when he transferred in, but he has proven himself.
Yeah, he earned
and
it.
now he's hit that payday. But I mean, there's a cost to it. Like having Keywan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss puts Ole Miss in the preseason top 10, where I think they belong. But I guarantee you they're taking a hit somewhere else on their roster.
Well,
because they can't pay someone else as much as they wanted. Probably a lot of those guys who left for LSU.
Think about that, for Trinidad Chambliss to get the news that he's going to be able to play another year, and it ends up it earns him $5 million or what, $4.5 million, whatever it was. Crazy, insane. What's all those decisions?
And a guy who's not a big pro prospect.
No.
So I mean, this is it.
Right.
Like
yes.
You need to figure out a way now. You're going to make all this money, have another successful year.
Yep.
And if your future's not in playing football, figure out what you're doing next. But you've got such a big nest egg to start with the money you've already made in college. It's a great jump start on your life. I mean, these guys too.
He's going from making those millions to, I don't know where he would be drafted, but it's not going to be a first round, I don't think so. The first round guaranteed, check where you're getting the 40 million. It's slotted in the second, third round where you make more through the college route. But the return on investment, man, I don't know. How do these guys that are paying these, that are donating this money, is it just, it's not like I don't see a bunch of names out there. I see Spire. I always go to Tennessee as an example because we know those guys. But I don't see individual names getting the pat on the back for buying this player. If it was about that, I feel like it would be about the notoriety of it all, right?
Yeah.
I don't see that very much. I don't understand why you do it if you're not doing it for the the accolade or the ownership, so to speak.
Yeah, look,
I know donating,
and so
donating as a fan is one thing. I'm talking about the millionaires that are doing this.
Let's go back to the Faison Brandon example because I'm probably as well versed at that as anyone out there. And I follow Faison Brandon on Instagram. Faison Brandon did a promo shoot with Sling TV. Sling TV, I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, is owned by Dish, which is a Tennessee-based company. I think founded by a University of Tennessee graduate. So that's a big donor for Tennessee. So that makes sense. But I noticed the bottom of the screen the whole time for advertising inquiries, it's like Faison at spiresports.com. Like he actually has a Spire Sports email address for all advertising inquiries to Faison Brandon. So he is on a multi-year deal with Spire Sports.
Okay.
Trey Wynn in the YouTube chat says, are these guys all on 1 year deals? The answer to that is if you're the veteran guy transferring from one place to finish your career out, yes. Or like Trinidad Chambliss, the end of his career, yes, that's a 1 year deal because he's got no years after this, right? The Josh Hoover, 1 year deal for sure.
Yes.
I bring up Jared Curtis at Vandy, Underwood at Michigan, who's entering year 2, Faison Brandon at Tennessee. Those are multi-year deals. But now what do we know about multi-year deals in college football? They don't mean anything.
No.
I'm like Joey Tribbiani and Friends. I think I'm doing the air quotes wrong when I say they don't mean anything. They really don't mean anything because if you want to break that 2 year deal and go re-up and like Nico and go negotiate with somebody else to get more money and then go back to your school, there's nothing stopping you from doing that other than we have seen some instances where collectives will sue the player or the school. And what they do is they settle on, okay, then we'll pay you this money back.
Yeah.
He didn't fulfill this. So here's a handshake agreement. It never gets to the courts because they just buy him out. You're basically buying someone out of a contract.
And that's normally the homesick guys or whatever.
That doesn't help you if you lose your quarterback though.
No.
Great. I got an extra $500K, but I lost the guy I invested all this time and energy to that knows the team and knows the offense and that we were hoping was going to be a long-term situation, right?
Yeah.
That's what was lost with Tennessee and Nico. That's the fear to me if you are a Vandy fan, hell, an Alabama fan with Keelan Russell, a Tennessee fan is, boy, this looks great right now, and
Well,
you're gonna live through the learning curve and all that with the young quarterback. But if they hit big and it starts to show this guy's gonna be really good, in the back of your mind, you're fearful that what does this mean? Because now they're going to demand more money, and can my team keep them?
well,
That's the scary part of all
but
this.
no matter who their quarterback is, they're going to demand the money now at that level. I would say, what does it mean if you go with the younger quarterback? It gives you a chance to build consistency, to sustain an actual player, right? To build a program around the position. Otherwise, it's a year-to-year deal every single year. Like it's tough to pull off what George is pulling off. You know,
Well, and
Ask
that's
Josh
what,
Heupel.
like, you're looking. This is the unfortunate part about it. I just don't think this exists as much anymore in the college game. Like Al Wilson when he was at Tennessee wasn't looking around the transfer portal.
Right?
He's from Jackson. He's like, I'm
No,
staying
it meant
here.
something to him.
We're
Yeah,
winning. Like by the time I get to be a senior, he won a national title.
right.
When he's there, but
I
you
mean,
feel like you're partners in it. Like if you're Al
there's an
Wilson or the
investment.
leadership on that team, like Peyton Manning was a
It's in your
partner
blood.
to
Yeah,
the University of Tennessee or to the school. They weren't an employee.
you're
They're
threaded.
partners on the
Absolutely.
whole thing. If I'm going to pay Jonathan Hutton, I'm going to use you as an example
Let's
again.
go.
You're a stud quarterback coming out of Warren County High School, and I'm
Three-star.
at Vanderbilt, and I'm like, I am paying Jonathan Hutton to partner with me. I'm paying Jonathan Hutton, the Warren County Pioneer, to partner with
Right.
Vanderbilt football for the next 3 years. Here is a 3-year deal worth $9 million, let's say, or whatever it is. Boom, hands are shaking.
Yep.
You sign the contract. I am putting you over here as a part of this thing. Like,
Yep.
I'm not
You're
thinking
locked
about
in.
re-upping with you.
Right.
I'm
You're
not thinking
locked
about
in.
you coming back to renegotiate. I'm not thinking about you bringing your wide receiver buddy somewhere else. Like, we're in this together now.
Yeah.
And that's how coaches should feel about it. I don't think the players feel that way. And certainly those players' agents don't feel that way about it
No
because
one
they're
does.
going to be looking for the next thing to renegotiate. That's the unfortunate part of all this.
No one feels that way anymore at any tier of the business of football. The coaches, the players. There's just no there's no you're not threaded into the program.
But if you are gonna,
You're
if
not
this is gonna
sewn
be,
in.
if it's about being a pro and getting ready for the NFL, that's the way NFL quarterbacks are when they sign a long-term deal.
Yep.
They become partners in the organization. Like now I'm at I got a seat at the table. Not that they're making the calls on personnel and all that, but
Right,
you
right,
know what
right.
I mean? Like, hey, Patrick Mahomes is a partner with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes,
He ain't
he
going
is.
anywhere anytime soon. When you sign for that money, Josh Allen and the Bills, like
Yeah.
we're in this thing together. We need to be pulling the same direction. I want to see more of that in college. That's why I don't mind the 3-year plan for a young stud quarterback the way it was in the old days. You sign a blue chip prospect, you think you're going to get 2, 3, 4 years with him as the starter. That's great in theory.
In theory.
But nowadays, they're all going to have their own agents going to say, no. Look at your stats this past year compared to these other freshmen. You need to re-up. And by the way, I got Michigan on the line or Ohio
Right.
State, and they're thinking about adding you for 1 year. That's what pisses fans off. And I get
Yes.
it. I get pissed off about that too. Like if you're going to make that level of a financial commitment to, by the way, kids from high school that have never proven anything in college, my return on that investment would be to that player. Again, I'm the coach and Jonathan Hutton's the player. Is Jonathan, you're in this with me now. Like we're going to build this
Yeah.
together and we're going to have success together. I don't need you coming to my office after 6 months trying to renegotiate this 3-year deal.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
and
renegotiated. That's the problem with the sport.
And
right
I
now.
wish there was a way where the player could say, Coach, I'm invested in you. Don't leave me high and dry after a year. Don't bounce for the extra million. But it's going to, I mean, everybody's bouncing around.
And
I wish it
Catfish,
was like it
Catfish
was.
Jake in the YouTube chat, Hutton, to your point and our point on this, says if Keelan Russell or Faison Brandon goes off this year and gets their team to the playoffs, which we both said, I think Tennessee and Alabama are fringe
They're
end
right
of
there.
the playoff type teams or out.
They
I
can't.
think.
Yep.
He said they're going to make a ton next season. They're already making a ton.
Yeah.
This is my point. Like he's right. They could then renegotiate and say they could hold their team hostage and be like, "Do you want another playoff trip similar to Nico?" But I hate how that's how it operates. I want contracts to matter. There's my thesis statement on college sports. If we're going to get to a place where we're all okay with it, I'm fine with the players making money. I'm fine with them making a lot of money if everybody's making money and everybody can pull it off at the highest level. I'm good with that. Let's make contracts matter again. Let's instead of MAGA, let's MCGA. Let's make contracts great again. And let's start with college sports and players.
This is Hutton Withrow. We are presented by Hard Rock Bets. Coming up, we discuss coaches on the hot seat. Straight ahead. Hutton Withrow here, presented by Hard Rock Bet, and we are on Sport and State, founded by Clay Travis. Jennifer Say founded XXXY Athletics. She's a former national champion gymnast, former Levi's brand president. She walked away from a corporate job instead of saying something that she didn't believe, and she started XXXY Athletics instead. The mission, in their words, is to empower female athletes, take a stand for fair competition. They call it the T that launched a movement. This is real athletic apparel, Chad. It's not just a slogan on a shirt, and this is where you get Clay's official, authentic Nashville Balls gear.
Where are you, WNBA? You're releasing statements now all of a sudden. We need a statement on the possibility of the Nashville Balls. We need you to rule on this one way or the other. That's right, official Nashville Balls merch, courtesy of XXXY, the official provider, tees, trucker hats, out now. If you want the shirt, that's where you go to get it. Plus, new customers get 20% off your first order when you sign up, and free shipping over $100. XXXYathletics.com. That's XX-XYathletics.com.
Chad, I mean, when I think of coaches on the hot seat right now, I'm looking a lot. If there's, of course, in the SEC, we're going to see. We saw a major turnover this year, but as far as guys who have to win, I'm immediately thinking South Carolina. Am I stupid for thinking that? I think that immediately comes to mind for me.
I think there are only two. This is very rare for the SEC. Right now, as we start the season, like last year, everyone knew that Billy Napier could get fired quickly at Florida, right? Going into it, like not just at the end of the year.
For the last 2 years, we were counting.
Yeah, like this thing could go south, and it went south in a hurry, and he got fired in a hurry a year ago. I think there are two guys this year in the SEC going into the season. Now we know Brian Kelly wasn't on the hot seat last year going into it, right? Like he was, but he wasn't. But things can change quickly.
James Franklin is a good example.
Exactly. No one had James Franklin on the hot seat. I think there are two guys that in the and that's it in the SEC I could conceivably see getting fired, either midseason or postseason this year in the SEC. It's Shane Beamer at South Carolina. It's Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. I don't really see anyone else on any hot seat at all, right? Unless I'm missing something.
Either. Yeah.
There's a lot of new coaches to start, and yeah, I don't really see it. But Hutton, there are two guys that play this weekend, week 0, as we're calling it, this weekend that are firmly on the hot seat. Bill Belichick in North Carolina, who I've got a parlay for you to play at some point too, who is a 9.5 point underdog against TCU, and I think that they're going to get blown out in that game. He's on the hot seat firmly. And Mike Norvell is absolutely on the hot seat. Mike Norvell was surprised that he came back this year, but they play New Mexico State this weekend also. Mike Norvell at Florida State, who had that one great year, is 38-34 over 6 years. He's gotten 6 years at Florida State. That's 38-34 in what has been a pretty down ACC.
Yep.
During his time there too.
Absolutely has been.
That is not going to cut it.
I'm not trying to speak this into existence, but I can totally see Tennessee not living up to the expectation that we're putting on them, where they're a fringe playoff team, and the fans are saying it's not Josh Heupel. I'm not saying it's this year, but I think the talk could happen if things go south in a hurry.
Yeah, someone asked.
It's going to build, and
if someone asked,
Alabama too.
If someone asks, is Josh Heupel on the hot seat? I'd say absolutely not right now. Is he always one possible season or a half season away from the hot seat? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. If Tennessee was 5-7 at the end of this year, then he's on the hot seat next year, right? Because in doing that, you didn't beat anybody, basically.
Right.
Is what you're saying at the end of the year. Like, you didn't get one marquee win. So then he would definitely be on the hot seat going into the following year. But I don't have anywhere near it right now. The other guy who was a big surprise that he got another year is Luke Fickell, who is 17-21 at Wisconsin. I'm going through the list of possibilities, Hutton, in Big Ten and SEC, and I forget. I'm like amazed some guys are still at their school. Luke Fickell being one of them. Like, you almost forget about it. He was so bad.
Like, Wisconsin didn't have a chance to get any. They weren't getting any action on the coaches because there were so many openings in the SEC. That's how I viewed it. He's back, but his buyout's like $25 million, something like that, probably. Now.
It's kind of similar to what Nebraska did with Scott Frost. It's like he should have been fired the year before, but they didn't, and they just restructured his contract, and he kind of gave them a hometown out in all of that because of how he did it.
The buyout, insane.
It's crazy to me because it's not just the record too. Like, there's a lot of negative press around that program.
Absolutely.
Of guys complaining about the culture and a lot of different things.
And then you got Lincoln
how
Riley.
He's treated people.
Lincoln Riley's buyout's like $60-70 million.
Yes.
Crazy stuff, man. Hey, tell me.
By the way, speaking of Wisconsin, Hutton, though, before that, and I'll get to my parlay too. Wisconsin opens the season against Notre Dame. Keep that in mind. That's on Sunday of Labor Day weekend. They're going to play Notre Dame out of the gate. So that's one to watch. I think that game's at Lambeau Field.
Are you dialing it up? Are you saying 1-800-ASK-WHIP on that?
I would be surprised if that was a really good game. Yes, I think Notre Dame's going to handle that one with ease.
Double the spread.
I also think that TCU is going to handle North Carolina with ease. Here's my week 0 parlay with Hard Rock.
I've got the pencil. I'm writing it down right now.
Give me TCU -9.5. There are teaser options at Hard Rock Bet. If you'd like to tease that down a little bit, I would say take that juice, take that action, go down a little bit on it. But TCU -9.5. I think they beat North Carolina by double digits. I like UNLV. I like their 2 quarterback options. I like Dan Mullen. I don't love Memphis breaking in a new coach. Dan Mullen now in year 2 at UNLV. Give me the running Rebs -3.5 at home against Memphis. And the Wahoos, baby. Virginia is -3.5 at Hard Rock Bet against NC State. I'm never much of a believer in Dave Doran and NC State. I'm not this year. Virginia coming off a great year. Give me Tony Elliott and Virginia -3.5 at home. That's the 2:30 ESPN game tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. So TCU -9.5, UNLV -3.5, UVA -3.5. I went with 2 home favorites there, Hutton, and we're going TCU on the neutral site in Dublin, Ireland.
Let's show the injury report for this game. That there are officially 15 players ruled out for Virginia. I mean, look at this. Look at this list. This is the initial report earlier in the week. It looked like this. There's a few. There's a handful of names that are not present on Virginia's list right now, but there are 15 players already ruled out. I don't know what is going on in their camp, but at some point you just break camp and you say, hey, let's just wait till the season if you have this many injuries.
I mean, there's so many of them. It looks like they just like employ the people on the back end of the 105 roster to be coaches.
Yeah.
And they just list them as out, even though they're not physically able to play football. Those are actually just offensive and defensive analysts that are listed as out for Virginia. I don't know how you could have that many injuries already and then be on the roster still. Like, I feel like these are all guys who have just graduated on to coaching at this point at Virginia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're the graduate assistant. Well, imagine being in college right now, dude, and you're already graduated. You have no class, and you just get to go play a football season, and then you're graduating. How awesome would that be? Zero to do. You've already graduated. Now you just get to play your final season.
Again, like, I don't know what the workload's like for guys even before they graduate. They also graduate so quickly. I was at my daughter's school board meeting the other night. He was the headmaster of the school was going through different statistics, and the average at this school that my daughter goes to, Donaldson Christian Academy, their seniors go to college with at least 15 hours of college credit based on AP courses they take at the school that my daughter goes to. And I'm thinking, that's a semester in. So you're a semester in when you start. If you go off to summer school to start college, you're done with a year and a half of school already. I mean, everybody's graduating in 3 years now. If you're an athlete, you're done in 3 years.
I realize that there's a cost deal here. Like, you want to speed things up for the cost of college. I get it. But man, if I'm the student, if I'm the kid, I do not want to speed up my college experience at all.
Yes, you're right. Yes,
but I mean, imagine reducing.
Be quiet with that years. Because I don't know if my daughter's watching at school right now, but I don't want her to hear that, because that would absolutely be my advice to anyone else: is savor the college experience. You don't have to be in a rush. I had a buddy who went off to summer school immediately because he just wanted to get done with college so quick, and he was done in like 2.5 or 3 years.
Yeah,
staying for summers the whole time, and I'm thinking, that is not the college experience that I would want. But kids these days, man. There's a lot of, like, I saw a buddy sent me a text of a highlight package, because we're doing high school football now, of his kid in high school playing, I think, at NBA. He's a 5.5 GPA. And I'm thinking, how is that possible?
Yeah.
So everything he takes is AP, so it goes up to like a possible 6.0 scale.
Like there's a competitive aspect to the grade point average. I get all that, like, whatever. I remember being in college. There was like a 12-year-old who was like a college. He was like You
went to school at Doogie Howser? I didn't know Doogie Howser was from McMinnville.
And I remember thinking, like, that kid's gonna be miserable, man. Like, he's graduated, like, at 14, he's just gonna be a college grad, and then what? Like,
and also,
what does he do?
You were doing harm to your child, like making them have to socialize when they're 12 or 13 in high school, if they're like bumping them up so much. I mean, that's not right for the kid.
But I'm thinking, like, but he's on college campus taking college courses at 12 years old. I'm thinking, I mean, okay, he wants to be. No one can challenge him, I guess. But I'm thinking, what does he do when he graduates at 14? Nothing. Like, does he go
medical
to
school?
He goes to the all skate. He goes bowling alley. I mean,
he's going to grad school. He's going to get that PhD by the time he's 18. By the time he's an adult. By the time he can vote, he's going to have his PhD.
He's a 19-year-old dentist by the end of it.
Yeah. School is very, we say all this, say that we know that school is very different. College is very different now. But these college football players, like, you don't get like the college game day feature on a guy who's got a difficult major who like has to, run from the lab to get to practice on time anymore, like you did back in the day.
I'm with you. They all feel the same.
And I'm not saying they're not smart. I'm not saying they're not taking classes online or any of that. I'm just saying it's not as big of a deal as it was before.
That brings up a good point. Vanderbilt, when we were interviewing some of the players and they were telling us their major, it was refreshing to actually hear a major, like a difficult major that I was.
It was refreshing to hear the Vandy players and say they have to go to physical classrooms. They don't do
Yes.
as many online courses there. I'm thinking,
Yes.
great, that's awesome. You get to experience college.
Yep.
Congrats, the way
Yes.
the rest of us did.
As it should be. Uh, Coming up, Titans and Bears preseason game. We'll briefly discuss Cam Ward and expectations and what we haven't seen. We'll let you know what both of us and Clay, what we binge watched on the drive back from Birmingham and how awesome it was. And high school football, Friday Night Lights, Chad with a challenge for those viewing this morning. It's Hutton Withrow. Chad, the NFL preseason nearly over, as we all say hallelujah. If you're watching preseason tonight, don't go to a high school football game, says Chad Withrow.
Go to a high school football game. I'm actually texting with a high school football coach right
Nice.
now, and this is terrific. He's sending me some info on the game. Josh Crouch at Green Hill High School. Thank you for that.
Thank you,
much
Coach.
appreciated. For the two deep that he's texting me as we speak. And we got a call of Green Hill at Page tonight. We're excited about that in the Mid-State. Here's my challenge to everyone watching this right now, because not enough people do this anymore. Go to a high school football game. I had this conversation with some people last night at the event with Next Round Live, that we grew up with high school sporting events where there was always like 3 or 4 older couples that had season tickets that went to every town sporting event just because it was what they wanted to do on a Friday night.
It was their pro sports.
And you would go and greet them after the game if you were a player, and it was awesome.
Yep.
And I look back at that now, and I'm like, you don't see as much of that going on.
No.
We were at Smyrna last week, Hutton, Smyrna High School here in the Mid-State, and they had a PA announcer who's been doing the game since 1992. He remembered calling me in high school playing basketball against Smyrna when he was 5-6 years into the job.
Jeff
as
Shipley.
The high school PA announcer.
Jeff Shipley.
You don't get that level of commitment as much anymore.
Nope.
Start that trend back. Let's be big about our community. Wherever you live, go to the local high school. Could be the local private school. Could be the local public school. Don't care. Spend your Friday night going to a high school football game. You're going to feel good about it. It's you giving back when you spend that money to go into the gate. That's helping the programs, helping the schools. Also, it whets the appetite for football starting tomorrow with college football games you can watch. Big college football weekend next weekend kicking off the season. This is a good way to get into it right off the bat. Go to a high school football game tonight. I beg you. That is my challenge to everyone. Hit us up in the YouTube chat. Let me know what game you're going to. I know our YouTube chat, and they're going to at least try to go to a game. So let us know what game you're going to tonight.
And tag along with us. We're going to be on at UCR Midstate is the YouTube channel, Chad.
Okay.
I've got that right this week. I say that because tonight I am going to throw in a going for the bundle. You better believe it. I didn't work it in last week. We're going for the bundle tonight on the broadcast in honor of Mark Howard. We'll get it
Going
done.
for you hit it last week one time, Hutton. My wife actually tuned in the last 5 minutes of our game, and she said I tuned in just in time to hear Hutton say "going for the bundle."
I don't even remember saying it
at one point.
I'm glad I did.
It was such a great play. I think we blacked out in the moment. Didn't even know you were doing it, but you did say yes, going for the bundle.
Yeah. We're also. Did you see we're going to be sitting outside the press box tonight?
We are going to be with the public. We are in the visitor bleachers.
We are going to annoy the fans.
Never done that before. Like, should we whisper like we're at a golf tournament?
I mean, you know me. It's hard for me to do that.
It's hard for me too. Neither one of us have been accused of being quiet.
So
with our voices, so that's going to be tough. I'm also like anticipating your parents turning around, like looking at us strange because we mispronounce a name,
pronunciation,
or say something's like, "Hey, he's a junior. Actually, he's a junior." There's going to be people saying that. We're like, "Oh, okay." So that's going to be
8 passes last week, not 7.
This is going to be Ella, who does our sideline reporting, and our producer there. Like, this is going to be a good lesson with them of keep these people off of us.
Yes,
they got to serve as the buffer. Also, like, feel free to tell them like we're on air if they're to come up and try to talk to us while we're doing the game with a headset on. So feel free to do whatever you need during this game. Hey, it's fun, and in all seriousness, it was great being around the atmosphere of high school football last Friday.
Yeah, I agree.
We're excited to call the game tonight with UCR. But again, I just implore everybody watching, anybody listening to the podcast right now, maybe you're listening and it's late afternoon on a Friday and you don't have any plans tonight, get your ass to a high school football game. That's what I'm telling you to do. Do it. You're not going to feel bad about it. You're going to leave feeling great. It's a little slice of Americana. You're helping out your local school, helping out your alma mater. If you live close to your alma mater, just go do it.
And another thing you should do is binge tires like we did last night on the drive back from Birmingham. How many episodes did we get in?
So we were all a little bit tired, a little bit grumpy. We had a quick trip down. We were there for about 90 minutes, 2 hours at the event, got back in our car, riding back, had a nice big TV in front of us. And I said, Braves just won, feeling good about that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fire up season 3 of Tires because I talked about it on the show, how it's the funniest thing on TV right now.
It was great, man.
And sure enough, you and Clay both had not seen that season. Clay had never seen a second of the show, but it's hard to get Clay locked in on anything and away from his phone for a while because he's very busy on that phone. But he did. He put the phone down and he watched and he was cracking up the whole time. Tire season 3 delivers. Catfish Jake's in the YouTube chat. I know he's a big fan also. But we got into episode 7 of a 12-episode season. So that's how quickly that thing rolls.
It's like Veep, right? Like it's a 30-minute show. It's perfect time. I like it because it feels a lot like Eastbound and Down and Righteous Gemstones a bit like this. You can tell like the writers are really good friends. I don't know how much of the show is ad lib, but it does feel like a little bit is. I don't know how those dudes get through an episode without just cracking up and actually delivering the lines. I don't know. I would have a really difficult time doing it.
They're very good. I just like when someone's allowed to create their own world.
Yeah.
And it's so clear that Netflix is just giving them the freedom. But hey, this is like a sketch you guys wrote back in college.
Yeah.
Or right out of college. Like, just go ahead and do that show. And there has to be a lot more structure with it. And it's well produced. Like, it's not some knockoff. They have different set pieces. We watched the women's business event, which I love the episode where they get out of the tire place and they go to a women's women in business dinner, which is fantastic. It's really well done. I think anytime funny people are around other funny people and they know each other and they know the backhand and the shorthand of everything they're doing comedically, and you allow them to create, you get some really good stuff. I feel that way about Tim Robinson and the sketch show, and then
Yes.
now the chair company. Like, it feels so worn out and lived in. Like, I feel like I'm in Valley Forge Automotive Tire Shop. It doesn't feel like actors
Yeah.
being in Valley. These feel like actual people at Valley
Well,
Forge Automotive that you would encounter.
uh, by the way, Chad, this entire show, my chair slowly goes down during the segment. I can't keep it.
Do you remember our old gig in the studio where like my mic would
Yeah, it
like,
would
and I'm like,
slowly just
I'm not
drop.
touching it, and they're like, you've done something to it, and I'm like, it was like I'm watching Lioness and she's getting Chinese water torture done to her slowly over and over, and I'm actually watching it on screen. That's what I felt like with my mic. Like, it was a psychological experiment. I'm like, this mic is 2 centimeters lower than it was 30 minutes ago, and I have not touched a
I
thing. It
don't know
just
what's
slowly
up with
lowered.
this. Yeah, it slowly just drops. Final thought, real quick. Titans Bears in the preseason. I feel like Cam Ward's feeling a little bit of the heat right now, a little pressure, and he's 0 for 2 in terms of like wowing anyone in preseason games. It's time for him to some uh, put up some drives. Um, I'm not talking about a field goal drive. Oh, we went down and got points. No, 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 no. I want to see them. I want to see him push the ball down the field. I don't want to. The run game can do whatever. I want to see him and Dable be in lockstep going into the regular season. We have not seen that yet. He needs to show it.
Well, and I heard him answering questions from Jared Stillman at the press conference yesterday, and he's kind of making it like, well, I look better in practice because we're doing more in practice, so we're putting more plan into it in practices, so that's better than the games. And I'm thinking that's it's a load of crap when you're talking about playing against backups. Like, you're
Right.
out there to play, even if you're playing the most generic plays possible in the
Yes.
game. Like, we were watching NFL Live on the drive up yesterday, and Chase Daniel was showing how he's just not seeing things
Yeah.
from a vision standpoint. Here's a play where a guy's wide open to start the 49ers
And he's
game, and
looking this way. Yeah.
he's sensing pressure that wasn't really there. He's stepping up in the pocket for no reason, and then he's missing the guy who's wide open. I don't
Yes.
want to hear the excuses from Cam Ward. Go out and play better. I'm with you, Hutton. Like, he needs to feel that pressure, honestly. Like, I want to see a driven, pressure-filled Cam Ward go out and do something better, even if it's just a preseason game.
It's time to see Cardinal Tate, the defensive line. There are a lot of things that the Titans need to show before they go into a must-win game against the New York Jets. Hey, fun week here at Sporting State for Hutton Withrow. Stay tuned because next round live coming your way right now here at Sporting State.